Peter Schiff, you're an American stockbroker, financial commentator, radio personality, and the leading gold bug in the US. You're also appearing in the Economic Global Crisis Debate, live online on Tuesday, the 7th of December, with free registration if you head to the website, crisisdebate.com. For now, I would like to welcome you to MarketLit.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And yeah, I love the way the Australians pronounce my name, Peter.
Yes, well, that certainly is a unique pronunciation, Peter. Onto other perceptions. Now, many people have preconceived notions about who you are. I'm curious, though, what do you think people conceive about you, and how may they be surprised if they really knew you?
Yeah, this network in the US, a financial network, I don't really get invited on anymore, but I used to go on a lot in 2004, 5, 6, 7, and they started calling me Dr. Doom because of my forecasts of what became the 2008 financial crisis. And I used to say, look, I'm not Dr. Doom, I'm just Dr. Reality. I mean, everybody else is living in a fantasy, but I wasn't gloom and doom about everything. I mean, I had things that I was optimistic about. And I offered real solutions to the problems that I was warning about. And, people keep saying, oh, Peter, you're forecasting the end of the world, which I'm not doing. I'm forecasting significant changes for the world. For some countries, these are changes that will be for the better. For the United States, of course, it's going to be a change for the worse, at least initially, when the US dollar loses its reserve currency status, and when the American people are then forced to live within their means, which unfortunately has been greatly diminished over the years as we've grown government at the expense of the real economy. So we have a lot of problems in our future, but there are real solutions. I mean, whether or not we ultimately adopt any of them is hard to say, but we still have a chance if we can rediscover our roots of free market capitalism and sound money and individual liberty. We can have a very bright future in America. But unfortunately, there's a dark alternative called socialism. And, that's the direction we're headed now. So I'm still hopeful that we can veer from that path, but I'm realistic to understand the path that we're on and where we're going to end up if we stay on it.
So let's chat about some of your predictions then. What do you think about gold at the moment?
I think gold is going to be remonetized. So not only is the price going to rise because it's a commodity and all commodity prices are going to be going up, but I think the monetary premium that is associated with gold will be enhanced as the world kind of returns to a gold standard in the post-US dollar standard environment that we're heading to. So not only will central banks be bigger buyers of gold, but individuals around the world will also hold more gold in their portfolios than they have held, for the past, couple of generations.
And Peter, do you see Bitcoin replacing gold as a modern store of value? I mean, how do you explain Bitcoin's outperformance over gold in recent years?
Well, no, I don't think Bitcoin is going to replace anything, least of all gold. Certainly not as a store of value, because you can't store what you don't have. And Bitcoin has no value. Now it has a price, right? It has a market price because people are willing to buy it, but you can't confuse price with value. And price is not something that you can store. Price is, all dependent on supply and demand. And since there is no underlying value to Bitcoin, the only demand comes from speculators. And the only reason speculators want it is because they think the price is going to go up. But when they no longer have that positive view, they won't want to buy it. And then nobody will buy it and the price will collapse. So, Bitcoin is just a fad. It's, a combination of a Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme, a chain letter. It's tulip mania for the modern world, right? It's not gold 2.0, but tulip 2.0. It's outperformed gold for the same reason it's outperformed everything else. I mean, why say it's outperformed gold? It's outperformed stocks. It's outperformed real estate. It's outperformed everything. I mean, 10 years ago, Bitcoin was under $1. Now it's 60,000. I mean, what has gone up like that? I mean, other than maybe a few other cryptocurrencies, right, which are part of the same bubble, there is no other asset. So you can't just single out gold and say, well, Bitcoin's beating gold. Well, it's beating stocks too. Does that mean no one's going to buy stocks? We're all going to buy Bitcoin, or Bitcoin's beating real estate. So don't buy any real estate, just buy Bitcoin. No, Bitcoin has gone way up, but in the future, it's going way down. And the people who are buying it now are just the bag holders. They're buying into a dream. They're simply enabling somebody who got in early to get out.
So Peter, what's your prediction for markets next year?
As far as stock markets in general, look, I think the markets are ultimately going higher, particularly real companies, real value. There's a lot of these overpriced momentum stocks now. What do you want to call them? Meme stocks, or just a lot of these COVID stay-at-home stocks that are extremely expensive. And, these stocks should be a lot lower, and they probably will be a lot lower in the future than they are today. But the companies that represent real value, where you're buying quality businesses, plant and equipment, resources at reasonable price earnings ratios with good dividends, I think they represent good opportunities. And in an inflationary environment, they should do well.
Peter, thank you for joining us. And for all those who want to listen to your debate online next Tuesday, the 7th of December, registration is free and available if you head to the website crisisdebate.com.